Are you telling me that you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
Happy Back to the Future Day! It is October 21st, 2015, which is the day that Marty McFly travelled from 1985 to the future to 2015. I don't know why I'm so excited about the fact that that is today. I remember when I was a kid watching Back to the Future and being like, oh, that's so far away in the future, like, I wonder what I'll be doing, and this is what I'm doing. When I was a kid and I'd look into the future of what 2015 would be like, I don't think I thought it would be anything like it is now. So yeah, it's been very weird, and plus, like, very poorly, and there was, it was a risk that, I could die. So just getting to this point and being able to experience and celebrate Back to the Future Day, which is what everyone's calling it, is just an awesome moment. So that's why I wanted to make a video to celebrate Back to the Future Day, and I thought I would do my top 5 favourite Back to the Future trilogy moments. So out of any of the 3 films, my favourite bits. And there's only 5. I've only chosen 5 because I could go on forever, because the whole trilogy is fantastic. Like, the thoughts that went into every film and all the little bits that you miss the first time you watch it, and after, like, I mean, I've watched it, God, so many times, and there's still things that I'm like, oh my God, I didn't notice that. So yeah, I just absolutely adore the trilogy. I've always loved Michael J. Fox. Ever since I was a kid, I was like in love with him, and even now, I'm in love with him. Like, I just love that guy. So yes, here are my top 5 Back to the Future moments to celebrate Back to the Future Day. Number 5, the opening scene to Back to the Future. You know, when Power of Love kicks in, I just absolutely love it because it gets you, because I've watched it so many times, I know that I'm about to be watching an awesome film, and it never gets old no matter how many times I watch it. I love that film. So yes, I just love that song anyway, and it's very 80s, and like now looking back, it is quite dated, but I just love it. I just love it. So yes, number 5, the opening scene. Number 4, from Twin Pines to Lone Pine. Now, this is something that not a lot of people notice, which is weird to me, because it was the first time I remember watching it, I remember thinking, oh, that's changed. And it's exploring the whole thing that if you change something in the past, it has repercussions on the future. And there's, like, in Back to the Future 2, this isn't like explored massively, but in the first film, it's kind of gives you a hint of it, and it's when Marty goes and sees Doc in the Twin Pines Mall car park. That's where the car is, and obviously Doc is explaining to him, and then there's all this kerfuffle, and then Marty travels back in time to 1955, obviously in the same location but back in time, and when he arrives, there's no mall because this was well before the mall was built, but there is a kind of field with 2 pine trees, but he runs over one of the pine trees. So when he comes back to 1985 after at the end of the film, it's now called Lone Pine Mall. I remember thinking that was one of the cleverest things. I was a kid, I was a kid when I watched that, and I just thought that's really clever. And that was like one of the first times that I kind of thought about time and how it there are repercussions of your actions, and I thought that's really cool. So that's definitely one of my top 5 moments. Number 3, the McFly family in the future. Now, there's a scene when they're all kind of having dinner and stuff, and you see all the gadgets and all the sort of tech that they're using in 2015. And like, if you compare it to now, there are some differences, but there are some similarities. So they've got like video conferencing, so Skype basically, they've got that. They did think we were going to use fax machines a lot today. No. But things like fingerprint technology, voice activated appliances. I think it was Marty's mum activated the pizza, and then Marty's son activated the fruit bowl thing that came out, all by voice. And we have Siri and we have Google, that's all voice activated. Obviously not everything in our homes is voice activated yet, but the technology is there, it's just how to apply it. Also, wearable technology. The kids had these almost like Google Glass now, but they were like these sort of visors that had phone calls coming in and all that kind of stuff. So it's all there. It's just today it's kind of done a different way. We've got the watches rather than those big visor things, and or the Google Glass, it was kind of along that track. So yeah, so there's a lot that as a kid, when I was watching it as the future, I thought, wow, that would be so cool. And to live in such a technologically advanced generation of seeing all these new things every day, it's nice to see that some of it, even though it's not exactly the same, is pretty close. Number 2, the hoverboard chase scene in Back to the Future 2. It's self-explanatory really, it's really awesome. It's just a really good scene. And my favourite moment, and I know this is a bit weird because it's just part of the plot, but it was so like whoa to me that I was like, this is awesome. And I mentioned it a bit before about the whole time and changing the past has repercussions on the future, but it's when Biff altered the timeline. So Biff from 2015, old Biff, went back in time to 1955 to give his younger self the sports almanac, so that he had all the results of all the races and all the bets and all this kind of stuff, so that he could put money on stuff and win. Now, the bit that always got me was when Marty and Doc realised what had happened. Marty was saying to Doc, well, let's just go back to 2015, stop Biff from stealing the sports almanac and stealing the DeLorean. And then Doc was like, well, no, you can't do that, because if we go to the future now, it's on this alternate reality. So the future that they would go to is Biff's future, not the future that they knew. So it was like all that kind of stuff. I was thinking, and my little brain was just like it just couldn't handle it. But it was like, now that I'm older and I have a bit more knowledge and understanding, I just love it. I just love all these theories, and the fact that this was all in a film. Like, I know science is often used in films, but like, I thought this was really cool, and the fact that, you know, kids were watching it and probably thinking it was really exciting. And yeah, so I just thought that was one of my favourite moments to make me like really think. And that was when I started liking films that made me think about things rather than just being an action film or just being funny or whatever. When that was probably the first film that made me actually think about stuff as almost like an educational level. So, but yes, I just thought that was fascinating, and I thought, you know, it made the second film for me, because part of the second film I thought was a bit cheaty because they were taking bits of the first one, and I thought, but generally, yes, I think the second one is my favourite. The third one, not so much. So yeah, they are my top 5 moments. If you haven't seen any of the Back to the Future films, we can't be friends until you see those films. They are just the best so much. Now this, my roads where we're going, we don't need roads t-shirt, I actually got in Florida back when I was 18, and I remember being so excited when I saw this t-shirt, because there was the Back to the Future ride, which I think they replaced with the Simpsons one now. I can't remember, it might be something else now. But back then, when I was 18, it was a Back to the Future ride, and it was just like my favourite ride because I loved Back to the Future. And it still remains to this day one of my favourite trilogies of all time. I don't think I'll ever not love Back to the Future. Or Michael J. Fox. So that's it. So I just wanted to make this video just as a commemorative moment as I'm looking back on all my videos to go, oh yeah, Back to the Future day. I would love to hear your favourite moments out of the films, any of the 3 films. Leave a comment, I would love to know. And I hope you're having an awesome day. I will see you in the next video. Bye.